Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Gisela K. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today we're going to do our very best as the proactive community that we are to share the flyers, to post and repost, to get the word out for a teenager who has been missing since September 23rd. And I only heard about it this week, and I think that's really sad because we're already in December over here, So I could see this case is gaining some traction on social media. There's other YouTubers also talking about it now. There's Facebook groups and things like that. So that's great. I really hope that Stefanie Damron will be found and that she'll be safe and okay. So we're going to get into all the details. Welcome to all my moderators, patrons, members, subscribers, any locals in chat. If there's a local in chat today, I'll be surprised because the population in New Sweden, Maine is 500. Okay? 500. Yeah, interrogation files. Hello to you. Say since September 23rd. Now this top is purple. I know it might look bluish to some. It's purple in solidarity with all the Facebook groups. Her mother, Stefanie's mother's also shared like purple candles, purple hearts. They say light the sky purple for Stefanie. So if you want to share purple hearts in the chat, that's what that would be for, right? Janet says, why now? Now there was a press conference. Now. FBI is involved, okay? Drones have been used. The K9 units have been out. Multi-agency searches. They haven't found her. So now the police are asking for the public's help. And here we are. This press conference only happened, I think it was yesterday. And so that is why this case is now finally, okay, good. Now it's getting some traction, some momentum, and people know about it. I think that's why press conferences are important, right? Okay, so here we go. First, I want to show you a presentation. As always, please like and share so that it boosts it into YouTube's algorithm so others can see it. Hopefully, other content creators will also start talking about it. And hopefully, Stefanie will be found soon. Also, what else did I want to say? I think that's it. Okay, so, the new flyer and everything like that, I'm going to be sharing on X. My handle is @TrueCrimeGisela. And I'll also put all the links to all my sources. There's a podcast and a YouTube channel that are really great sources as well. They've been sharing lots of information, interviewing the aunt, interviewing people that live right there, that know the family. So I've linked those for you already, actually, and you can go and check that out. All right, so Stefanie Damron. She's 14 years old. She was actually 13 years old at the time of her disappearance, but she's had a birthday since, and so now the flyer is updated all to say she's 14 years old, right? Okay, so she was last seen she was reported missing September 24th. She was actually last seen on September 23rd of 2024. She was in New Sweden, Maine. That's where her family lived off-grid. And she's described as 5 foot, 130 pounds. She has when she was last seen, brown shoulder-length hair and green eyes. Her aunt, who was on a podcast that I've linked in the description box, said that there was a tip that was called in where someone thought they may have seen Stefanie at a Walmart with blue hair. So she may have changed her hair, right? So it would just be important to pay attention to like her facial features, 5 foot, 130 pounds, things like that. And hopefully if you spot her, you can call the police and just so that they know that she's safe, that she's okay, 14 years old. So at the time she was last seen, brown shoulder-length hair and green eyes. She was wearing blue jeans, a long-sleeved blue shirt, and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. So if you know anything, you can call the Maine State Police, Halton Barracks. There are the numbers on screen. It's also in the description box if you need that. Casey Murray says, over 2 months, why are we just finding out about this? Now, because the FBI and Maine State Police, they want our assistance, the public's assistance, right? Objection Cake, thank you so much. I will correct that description box date. All right, so here's some pictures of her. There's not too many pictures of her, but I found as many as I possibly could. This one on the bottom right is apparently the most recent picture of her. I've seen it reported on Facebook, which Facebook I know one must take with a grain of salt, like all social media. But I saw it reported that photo is from summer of 2024, but now I've seen in the comments section on Facebook and on other podcasts and things that they say, no, that photo was actually from 2022, and yet they say it is the most recent one, right? Thank you for sharing purple hearts, everyone. That is so sweet. Okay, so New Sweden. It is in Aroostook County, Maine, and has a population of 500. Total 500 people. It's 200 miles from the Canadian border. Apparently within half an hour from there in a vehicle, you could get into Canada. Stefanie and her family live off-grid in New Sweden, Maine. Her aunt said, her great-aunt, it's her great-aunt, it's her dad's aunt, I think it is. Anyway, her great-aunt, who was interviewed on a podcast that's linked in the description box for you, said that it was like a dream of theirs to live off-grid. And so they did that, right? The family moved to Maine in 2020. So they've lived in this area for 4 years. So Stefanie would know the area fairly well, though they isolated. They are very isolated. The kids reportedly don't have friends and things like that. They are all homeschooled. I don't know if they're enrolled in an official homeschool or if the parents just like homeschool them. I'm not too sure, but they're being reported as being homeschooled. But her great aunt also said that they don't really have friends or interactions with other kids. It's like 6 kids, 2 parents, and they live in a yurt, okay? So they use a generator for electricity. The picture up top right is not the yurt. It's just an example of a yurt, okay, in case someone didn't know what that was. In South Africa, we would kind of call that a rondavel, right? So it's like a tent-like structure. It's round, and so they lived in that, right? And so they use a generator for electricity. They have no running water. Apparently, they have to bring it in from off-site. They also have an outhouse, apparently, and thank you to everyone that's emailed me already when you saw I'm covering this. A lot of information coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you also for all the messages on X and things like that. I appreciate all the information. So if anyone wants to send me information, my email is grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. Now, they allegedly have no access to the internet or Wi-Fi, but yet Stefanie had a Facebook profile. I believe some of the other siblings had a Facebook profile. The parents also have Facebook profiles, so I don't know. And they do post on there. So do they, like how? Where do they post from then? Do they go and sit somewhere for coffee and then post? I don't know. But apparently they have no access to the internet or Wi-Fi. The parents have also said that they raised them to not be on social media or on the internet, right? Sassy Patty, thank you so much. So Stefanie had access to her grandfather's flip phone, and a guy that lives close by who they called uncle, but he's not related to them. It's like a neighbor, really, who heard, wow, there's a family living in a tent in the cold, but it's a yurt, right? So I think it's quite well insulated. But he went over there to see if he could help. And then he said that, he saw that there's quite a few kids living there and he does his best to help the family out. And he also said, wow, he didn't know that like a flip phone would have apps and things like that or access to the internet. So they're not sure about that. But there is concern about who or, what Stefanie may have interacted with online. So that's why they bring up the phone and the Wi-Fi and the internet and things like that. Perry, thank you so much. So they previously lived in West Virginia, Texas, and New Hampshire. So they had lived elsewhere. It seems like her mother's also from Georgia, I think. And so they'd moved to this area in 2020. Now, I think at this point, I should show you the map quickly so that you can see that, just to see how very remote it is. Grandma Pumpkin, thank you so much. All right, so let's just quickly do some map time here. Okay, and we are back, and sorry, let me bring it up for you. There we go. So this is New Sweden, Maine. And again, thank you to the person who helped me on X. I keep my sources anonymous, right? Obviously to protect them as well. But thank you to the person who sent me this location, who did a lot of hard work looking for exactly where would it be. So it's on this west road, and it's, I don't know, somewhere on this west road in the 400 block of this west road, somewhere around here would be a more accurate location for where they stay in this yurt. But if you look at the area, there's a lot of woods around there, right? A lot. Melissa Dar said they do not live 200 miles from Canada. They live 23 miles. 23 miles from Canada, says Melissa Dar. Oh my word. Like she could be in Canada so quickly. That is so hectic. Thank you, Melissa Dar. Thank you so much for being here. I have seen Melissa Dar. I've seen your Facebook page. I will link it as well. Thank you for sharing all the updated flyers and the timelines and everything as well. Okay, so this is the area. All right, so if they lived somewhere, let me just quickly go to this one. Yeah, somewhere around here in the woods, it would be somewhere in there that they would have their yurt. And they said that Stefanie sometimes went into the woods to cool off, if she wanted to. Her aunt worded it like if she wanted to escape the chaos of the house, or, because there's one of the kids doesn't live there. She's apparently an adult. So it must be 2 parents and 5 kids living in a yurt. So sometimes she just wanted to go and clear her head and just go and hang out in the woods around the house. And so they were kind of used to her doing that. She had also attempted to run away before. She'd apparently attempted to take a neighbor's car and leave, and she was always found. So this time, obviously, they're very, very upset that they can't find her. Like, where the heck is she, right? So, yeah, so just showing you the area. Let's just zoom out so we could see it. 23 miles. I'm still like, wow, from Canada. It'd probably be, like, just across the border here. Oh, my word. Okay. New Sweden, you could see it there. So let's zoom out completely so we could see, especially if we've got an international audience, just roughly where we are at, right? Here's New York. It's always a good reference point. Here's New York is here. So Boston, Maine, okay, and it's northern Maine. Do they also have bears out there? I did look, I asked Uncle Google and I asked Auntie Grok. Grok is on X. Do they have bears? It seems like they do. It seems like they may have bears out there. I just wanted to know what kind of wildlife would be out there. Is it dangerous to be in the woods? Not only for like human predators, but also animals, like what could be out there. So they could be. Okay, so now you've seen the area like that. And so, hold on one second. We're going back to this one. Okay, so they previously lived in West Virginia, Texas, and New Hampshire, right? Stefanie Damron is 14 years old. As I say, she recently turned 14. She loves nature walks. This is from the Locating the Lost podcast that I've linked for you in the description box. So she loves nature, walks in the woods, reading, drawing, and puzzles. She is homeschooled and has 5 siblings. 1 adult female doesn't live there and has a different father. Stefanie's mother told Whitney Nichols, a search organizer, that Stefanie was quite depressed. She would go to the woods to cool off or clear her mind. Her parents were apparently at a job interview at Ruby Tuesdays when she went missing. Because people were saying, well, if she went missing, the neighbor, who they would call the uncle, his name is Andrew, so like Uncle Andrew, he says that when she went missing that late morning. But every other source I've heard, they talk about afternoon, but it seems like it's not clear exactly what time she went missing. On September 23rd, right, of 2024. But she was only reported missing the next day, right? So I just think it's interesting that Uncle Andrew says late morning. That seems to be the most definitive one I've heard so far, right? Okay, let me just see what I'm missing here. Objection Cake says, can you zoom out and show the Canadian border? Well, it's super close, right? Ron Johnson said there's a few different families that have nice yurts around where I live in Maine, and they seem to do really good as long as they adapt to that style of life. I did also read somewhere that it's quite popular. Yurts are quite popular in Maine as well. Interesting, right? Okay, so Maine State Police said on October 22nd, the Maine State Police continue their search for a missing Aroostook County teenager. On Tuesday, September 24th of 2024, the Maine State Police Troop F received a report of a missing juvenile, Stefanie Damron, who's now 14 years old. Stefanie was last seen walking out of her house and into the woods located on the West Road in New Sweden on September 23rd of 2024. Maine State Police Troop F and the Major Crimes Unit North began investigating the circumstance surrounding Stefanie's disappearance. The Major Crimes Unit North also collaborated with the Maine State Police Computer Crimes Unit and the FBI's Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, CARD, to ensure that all resources were utilized in finding Stefanie. Despite extensive investigative efforts, Stefanie remains missing. Investigators have conducted many interviews and followed up on leads in Maine, nationally, and in Canada. which makes sense then because it's so close. It's much closer than I thought. So the Maine Warden Service and the Maine State Police K9 units have searched large parcels of land near Stefanie's last known location. The Major Crimes Unit will continue to investigate the case in partnership with the FBI's CARD team. Stefanie is described as 5 foot, 130 pounds. Her aunt said between 100 and 130 pounds, green eyes and great aunt, by the way, and shoulder-length brown hair. She was last seen wearing blue jeans, a long-sleeve blue shirt, and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. Anyone with information about Stefanie's whereabouts is encouraged to call the Maine State Police, Halton Barracks at 1-800-924-2261 or 207-532-5400. There's also FBI numbers. I'm going to share that as well during this presentation. And there's now a $15,000 reward that the FBI and the Maine State Police are offering for any information that could lead to the safe return of Stefanie. Okay, so we keep going, and then we're going to watch that press conference, the most recent press conference as well. We're going to watch that together. The FBI, there we go, and Maine State Police offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to Stefanie's safe return. The FBI's CAR team is assisting in the search. Her parents were not home. I'm just repeating something. At the time of her disappearance, they were at a job interview. It's been reported that she had an argument with her 16-year-old sister and walked off into the woods to cool off. That was on September 23rd of 2024. So that's what her family said. They at some point made a family statement, and that's when they offered that information. That, oh, she had an argument with her sister. That Uncle Andrew, who's really a neighbor that lives 1.2 miles away, said that they'd been arguing for a few hours. You see, he knows a lot of information, you know? But it's probably the sister that would tell the parents, and the parents would tell him, I would assume, you know? But apparently they'd argued for quite some time, and then Stefanie walked off into the woods, which wasn't uncommon of her to do. They were apparently in the woods. They were like coloring pencils found and other items, which could also belong to the other children because they also played in the woods sometimes, but they did talk about that as well. Dan said it's not actually a yurt. It's more like a dome with additions around it. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. So then she was reported missing the following day. She's not known to have a phone, money, bank cards. I mean, they talked about a driver's license. I wouldn't think so. She's only 14 now. Laptop, etc. She was homeschooled. There were apparently some computers at the home, right? But they don't think that what's being reported is that she doesn't have anything like that on her. It's as if they're saying that she just walked off into the woods and vanished. So that sucks. Regina says Walmart sighting is not Stefanie, according to Melissa Dar. Thank you so much. If there's any corrections, any information, any additional, insight that anyone wants to share with me, please email me, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. Okay, so there's another picture of her as well. I think it's very important to get the flyer out there and her picture out there, because the more people that have eyes on this case, hopefully people in the area can really look out for her, and everywhere, because they're searching all over America and Canada as well. Therapists, we've just gone over what she was last seen wearing twice, so I'm going to move on now because we just went over that, right? So I hope that you'll go back and watch the beginning of the stream there. It was actually just a few minutes ago that we went over that. So Lisa Marie Damron is her mother, and she said on Facebook, there has been several searches, and we believe someone picked her up at the head of our driveway. Now, apparently the driveway is like 3.5 miles long. That's a long driveway. I mean, if Canada is 23 miles away, damn, after just the driveway, they're 20 miles away from Canada. Sure, okay, there have been several searches. We believe someone picked her up at the head of our driveway. State police are not handling the investigation. The FBI are. They have used drones and also several search dogs too. Hence why we believe she left with someone that she was talking to online. I'm asking anyone with information, however small you think it is, please let the authorities know, even if it's anonymous. Please help us bring our baby girl home safe and sound. She also said she's homeschooled and no special needs, because people had asked that. Thank you, Dan. You say it's a quarter mile long. Yeah, her great aunt is the one. The source said her great aunt on that podcast, which is called, I'll tell you now. Where is it? Brooklyn Squad Real Life Advocate. Her great aunt said the driveway is 3.5 miles long. Dan said it's a 1/4 mile long. Okay. That sounds more like a driveway, right? 3.5 miles. Damn. Okay, so her mother said she's homeschooled and no special needs, and Stefanie lives off-grid in a yurt or a dome-like structure, right? As Dan in chat has said, with her 5 siblings, although, remember, say one is an adult and doesn't live there, and I believe that the one has a different dad. Let me just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 on screen here. I see 6 kids. Okay, I've blanked out... I've redacted their faces, of course. I think the one is not a minor anymore either, the older son, but the others are, so I'm just making sure to protect them. Nana Netta said, first time trying to send support, spelled Stefanie's name the British way. Sorry, sending. Thank you so much. Yeah, her name is spelled with an F. So, yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your sticker there. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm sharing the purple heart there as a reminder if you want to share purple hearts on social media for Stefanie. That's what her family, friends, and the search groups and Facebook groups are doing. Okay, a quick visual timeline. On September 23rd, Stefanie goes into the woods, according to her family. September 24th, she's reported missing by her family. So the whole night went by. The next morning, they reported her sometime missing the next day, right? They were hoping that she would come back or that they would find her in the woods. They didn't find her. So, okay, Melissa says, 21-year-old male. I'm just checking that we're not sharing any names. Yeah. 21-year-old male, 17-year-old girl, Stefanie, 14, 12-year-old girl, 10-year-old girl, and 7-year-old boy at home. Thank you so much. 21-year-old male, 17-year-old girl, 14, Stefanie, 12-year-old girl, 10-year-old girl, 7-year-old boy at home. Okay, interesting. So where's this older sister that doesn't live there? So would that be a 7th sibling? So visual timeline, we're still going here. On September 26th, the Maine State Police make a statement. On October 26th, there was an organized ground search. On December 2nd, there was a press conference with a $15,000 reward. So that was 2 days ago. And that's how I found out about it, because everyone was sending me this like, what? There's a press conference? What happened? Who? Where? September? Oh my word. When I saw September, I'm like, really? September. That feels like forever ago. September 23rd. And then on December 21st, there will be a candlelight vigil, which is going to be held for Stefanie. And there again, they're sharing purple candles, pictures, all of that. So there's that's her parents on the right. There's a multi-agency search for Stefanie, including the Maine State Police, K9 units, Maine Warden Service, Major Crimes Unit, the state's Computer Crimes Unit, and the FBI. Investigators are pursuing leads all over the USA and in Canada. A local, Whitney Nichols, is helping to lead the citizen search parties. The Damron family is reported to have moved to New Sweden from Texas after a CPS fiasco. Now, that's being reported on the Daily Mail, so I don't know any other source for that. I haven't found documents for that either, but they say there was a CPS fiasco and no one on social media is talking about it, which I totally understand. Respect the family's privacy. I don't know exactly what that all was about, except there was one incident, which I'll get to now. They said in 2019 in a Facebook post, Christopher Dale Michael Damron, the father, said that the family would be heading to Maine away from these bad memories. So, okay. Thank you, by the way, all for being here. Now, while living in Rusk, Texas, Stefanie's parents were arrested at a McDonald's where they were intoxicated. It sounded like they were inside the McDonald's intoxicated while 2 of their children were left alone in the car. So I think that could be the CPS fiasco. Lisa Marie Darman was initially charged with abandoning a child with intent to return. She pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of deadly conduct and then received a deferred sentence. They have 6 kids. One is from a different dad. Oh, wow. Kerry says we are getting a snowstorm in New England tomorrow. Stefanie's family believe that she met someone online, which is such a possibility in today's world, you know? I hope that somebody didn't come pick her up. Those guys, or you know, on social media, we've spoken about it a lot on this channel. Oh, man. When somebody offers, like, I'll help you, I'll come pick you up, you could come stay with me, and then they turn out to be terrible. I hope that's not the case. I hope that she's okay wherever she may be, but her parents are worried that she met someone online. Her father said that he thinks she somehow accessed the internet through her grandfather's flip phone and that someone came to pick her up. Her mother, Lisa, stated that she saw a dating app on the phone, on a flip phone. A dating app on a flip phone. Is that so? Okay. That possibly involved the letter P and had a peach background. The FBI and other agencies have retrieved any and all electronics from the family's home. Everything on Stefanie's Facebook profile has recently been deleted. That's what was reported on the podcast, Locating the Lost podcast. And so she did have Facebook. If everything was deleted, maybe it could also be because the FBI is looking into all those accounts, right? Sometimes they'll take the account down or delete things, just, I don't know, while they're looking into everything. Angela Lacombe said, thank you, Gisela and Mods, for all your hard work. Thank you so much. And then, okay, wait, I lost my place. There we go. The FBI and other agencies have retrieved any and all electronics from the family's home. There is a rumor that Stefanie and her 16, I think now also 17 is what Melissa said, 17-year-old sister, were going to leave, but her sister did not. So I don't know if that's what the argument was about. It's just things that I'm hearing online, that there is a rumor, and that uncle, who's not an uncle, the neighbor, said that there could be some validity to that maybe the two sisters wanted to leave. I don't know. And so she apparently left late morning, September 23rd of 2024. As I say, some reports it could be more like late afternoon. It also depends what time the parents were at their job interview. Okay, so there's a source, Sarah Boyles, freelance journalist in Illinois, that someone shared on Facebook. So I always just say, it's not to disrespect the people who post. I'm very appreciative of the information. I just say with social media, take it with a grain of salt, right? But I do want to share with you what I found. My goodness, Sipe, what are you doing? Thank you so much. Oh my word, you said appreciation to the G team. Thank you so much for your $100 sticker, my word. So Stefanie's father, this is the source, claimed that at first he was cooperating with DCFS and other agencies until they, according to him, twisted the story and their true colors came out. He claims the agencies that are trying to find his daughter are turning it into a parade. He claims that his family are not the ones in question, but the state police need to do their job. The state police have insisted that they are doing their job. K9 units found Stefanie's scent in the family's driveway and lost her scent when it reached the main road. According to officials and involved parties, Stefanie and her family live in a way that not many of us have seen. They are completely off-grid. Stefanie had no social life and no friends. The homeschool children did not take part in sports or community activities so they could meet others their age. The family just simply wanted to live off the grid. When Stefanie went missing, she had no working cell phone, no money, no clothes, no reason to take off without coming back. Although Stefanie went missing, welcome Joyce. Although Stefanie went missing on September 23rd, her parents did not call and report her missing to troopers until the next day, as they believed that you had to wait 24 hours to make a missing person report. This is a good reminder that you do not have to wait 24 hours to report any individual missing, although many people do still believe this myth. Stefanie's aunt, Jerry Harms, who resides in Illinois, did share during an interview that her niece was known to take off into the woods when she was upset and sometimes attempt to run away. I've linked that podcast for you where her aunt, her great aunt, was interviewed, right? It's called Brooklyn Squad, Real Life Advocate. The family is begging for Stefanie to call 911 if she is in danger or if she is simply caught up in something. They want to know that she's safe. Many are concerned that the K9 unit lost track of the young girl's scent at the end of the driveway. If you know anything at all about Stefanie's disappearance, please call the numbers provided on the poster below. Remember, you can remain anonymous. Thank you so much for your time reading the information about this young lady who went missing at age 13 and is now 14 years old. So at the time, it was 56 days. I think now it's been 71 days since she was last seen. We all hope for the best possible outcome. Okay. So we keep going there. I also do have a clip that I need to show you. I mustn't forget. Hold on one second. I just want to quickly get that ready. Okay, so her great aunt said, this is now from Facebook. She did have access to the internet from her grandpa's phone, which is apparently a flip phone. They didn't think that she could get on the internet as it is an old flip phone, but it was able to connect, and she was corresponding on that phone. She had access to a dating site that they were not aware of. That phone is now with the investigator on her case. I mean, oh no. That can be so dangerous. Obviously, as we know, and she's a minor. She was 13. And it's right before her birthday, obviously, because we saw that post from October 22nd, was it, from the Maine State Police, and they already said she's now 14. So she left, went missing, got lost, got picked up, whatever it is, right before her birthday. Melissa Loves True Crime says, I feel so afraid for Stefanie. Yes, me too. Regina says, this case has me worried, dang. Janet says, could have been catfish too. Yes, that's what I'm thinking as well. Could have been catfish too. Because they say that some of the numbers that she had connected to were from Canada. That's why they're looking there as well. And some from Nigeria. Well, that could be catfishing, scams and things like that. You just never know. We've seen lots, right? Okay, so social media can be very dangerous, as we know. Now, she also, her great aunt also said, I can only answer what I can share, and that is Stefanie came up missing on Tuesday. Her mother noticed she was gone in the morning. She does not attend public school. They are homeschooled. She did not have a cell phone or any items with her when she left. They do not know if she ran away or was abducted. There had been a search party and dogs in the woods. The parents are being told to stay low-key, and they're sharing what they can. I do feel the Maine State Police need to answer a lot of questions the public has regarding Stefanie's disappearance. They have not kept the public informed, but are asking for the public's help in finding her. I'm her aunt, and the FBI and federal agents are running the investigation now, and I do agree that they should be releasing more information to the public. She said that Stefanie has tried to run away before, but was always located in the woods shortly after by family members. Okay. So, October 2024, there was a written family statement. And this was to a news channel called, I think it was like WGMT, something like that. It was a news station that they gave this written family statement to. And I think it's from her dad, her parents, right? Stefanie got into an argument with her sister while we were gone and walked off. We live a half a mile back in the woods, and our kids are very comfortable in their surroundings, so there was nothing to raise flags the first few hours. Our children are homeschooled and taught the basics and sent to Job Corps for their GEDs. CPS has been in our house, verified and confirmed everything. We had nothing to do with this. We just want our baby home. Okay. Sure. So that was their written family statement. The temperature, I was interested in that just because I know they thought they had to wait 24 hours. And I know many people think that. I'm just like, I would, I just wonder if they weren't worried about the temperature that night, if she was in the woods. So I just wanted to look at it. And so the max was approximately 62 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 16.6 degrees Celsius. And the minimum was 47 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 8 degrees Celsius. So pretty cold at night, huh? She was reported missing the following day, September 24th, 2024. Now, I'm just saying this. I'm not trying to raise a red flag for the dad, okay? I've just noted it on social media. So her dad has not made any posts about her going missing, but he has made the written statement, and he has spoken to On Patrol Missing, right? That's the one I'm trying to find quickly here. If I don't find it, I just want to see On Patrol Missing Stefanie. Yes. Dorman, because I still want to show you that clip as well. All right, so we've got that. I'm just checking your comments here quickly. Locating the Lost podcast. I've linked it in the description box for you. I think the episode was just over an hour and a half or so, an hour 40. And so, what is On Patrol? Yeah, On Patrol Live. Dan, if you have the link to that, can you please send it to me? Whether it's on email or X or whatever, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. I did have it earlier. It's just difficult to find it now, but otherwise I'll find it while I'm playing the press conference. So, okay. Now, the neighbor Andrew, they say he's uncle. So they say that they kind of call him Uncle Andrew. Okay. He called into this Locating the Lost podcast. Andrew lives 1.2 miles away from the Damron family. He says the younger kids range from 5 to 14. A vehicle may have been heard on the driveway at the head of the driveway that late morning. That's information he's offering, right? Melissa, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I had it all lined up, but I can't see it now. So I'm looking forward to showing that. Okay. So it's one interview that the dad did that I'm waiting to show you. So we'll have a look at that. Thank you, Melissa, for all the information. I see it. So this uncle, who's not an uncle, says a vehicle may have been heard on the driveway or at the head of the driveway that late morning. So he's the one that says that late morning, right? He says there might be validity to the two sisters intending to leave and says some items were missing that show pre-thought and planning to leave. I mean, he's got a lot of interesting information that he's sharing, right? Interesting. So I wonder what that is. He says maybe there were some items missing to show pre-thought and planning to leave. The grandfather is apparently Richard. Andrew says some numbers that were contacted with the flip phone on this dating site were Canadian. He also mentioned Nigerian. He says the whole family was interviewed separately, meaning individually, each child alone without the parents as well. And the kids are apparently still with the parents, which is obviously a good sign, because if they thought something was really suspicious there, they would have taken the kids out of the home, right? So there's that as well. Sussex Sandra says uncle knows way too much, and he's not an uncle though. He's a neighbor who lives 1.2 miles away. So the candlelight vigil will be on December 21st of 2024. I'm not going to say the time because I don't want to mess it up. Just if you can check out, there's the link to the vigil. Just hold on. Melissa just sent it to me. I think it shows local time for you, right? Meaning for me, it's 7 p.m. CET. That's what it says. 7 p.m. CET. Okay. Saturday, but this says at 1 p.m. Ooh, okay. What time, Melissa? Melissa Dar in chat. What time in Maine is the candlelight vigil? Because I don't want to mess that up, but I will link the Facebook page. If anyone is in the area and you do want to go and show support, that would be amazing. Okay. Trevina says he's 1.2 miles away. How can he see a car in the driveway and know all this information? Now, again, I'm not trying to red flag Uncle Andrew. He's hopped on a podcast. He shared information which is useful. I watched the aunt, the great aunt, speaking on a different YouTube channel, right? And she seems a little sus of Uncle Andrew because she said that he said to the searchers, don't worry, I've got dogs and pigs and I will make sure they're all locked up when the search is happening. But on the day that there was a search there, he'd let them all out. So this is what I'm hearing from the great aunt on the podcast, right? Or the YouTube channel that I told you about, that I've linked. So if so, that's a little weird to be like, I'll help with anything. I'll make sure the dogs are locked away, the pigs are locked away, and then you just let them all out, and then people are too scared to search there. I don't know. That sounds a little weird. Melissa says, if Stefanie was in fact chatting with men, you would think her older sister would know, and she's not giving any information. Yeah, that as well. True. So, I hope not, but unless it's one of those catfishers or predators who said, don't tell anyone. That's key. Don't tell anyone, right? Oh, man. They might say that. Now, here is the missing person flyer. They say Stefanie Damron, September 24th was the day she was missing, New Sweden, Maine. I'm sharing this on social media as well. It is also all over Facebook if you want to obviously see it much bigger. The numbers are on the right-hand side there. You can call Maine State Police at 1-800-924-2261 or 207-532-5400. You can also call the FBI tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov, right? Thank you so much. Erin says, Melissa says she sent you a flyer about the case. She says 1 p.m. So at 1 p.m. in Maine, I would think. Okay, so let me quickly find this one. I think it's this that I'm looking for. All right, so there are all the numbers. Listen here, Bill Gates. Telling me to delete my cookies. No. Okay. Melissa says, Uncle Andrew says law enforcement has searched his property several times. Yes, but have they? They have with drones, I heard, but have they searched his property? Uncle Andrew says it, yes, that law enforcement has searched his property several times. Did they? Did they? Okay, so that's all the critical information, right? Freaking Facebook is not complying with me. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to play the press conference for us. And then let me just make sure it's boosted and all of that. Just wait 1 second. This was from December 2nd. So today's the 4th. Yeah. Okay, so it's the latest one. So let's just look at this quickly here. Okay, here we go. Wait.
Maine State.
Here we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Scott Goslin. I'm a major with the Maine State Police. Maine State Police called this press conference in conjunction with the Federal Bureau of Investigation to help bring attention to the disappearance of 14-year-old Stefanie Damron. Stefanie was last seen on September 23rd, leaving her home in New Sweden on foot and walking into the woods behind her home. Stefanie's family is very concerned for her safety, as are we. And to our knowledge, Stefanie does not have current access to electronic devices and has limited access to social media. We are looking for help from the public in order to maintain a vigilance for Stefanie and to report any tips or leads that might be helpful to our investigation. Stefanie is a white female, approximately 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with shoulder-length brown hair, green eyes, as last reported wearing blue jeans, long-sleeve blue shirt with black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. A photograph of Stefanie is available for publication, and you can see a picture here. Since her disappearance, the Major Crimes Unit detectives in our Northern Field Division, along with the Boston Division of the FBI, have spent hundreds of hours investigating her disappearance, conducting countless interviews, and following up on leads. The Maine Warden Service have canvassed the woods searching for Stefanie, but at this time, there's been no credible information or sightings of Stefanie. The Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit North is collaborating with the Federal Bureau of Investigation with this missing person investigation. Anyone with information concerning Stefanie's whereabouts is urged to contact the Maine State Police at 1-800-924-2261 or 207-532-5400. And you may contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. At this time, I'd like to introduce Special Agent in Charge, Kim Milka from the FBI, who will be making an announcement regarding a reward related to this case.
Okay, so now it's the first time they're offering a reward, and it's $15,000. So this is a press conference. Of course, this has definitely helped boost the case on social media so that now we're all aware of it, even though Stefanie was last seen September 23rd of 2024.
Thank you, Major. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming and for helping us keep the public informed about our efforts to locate Stefanie. I'm Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Kimberly Milka with the FBI. Our hearts are with the family and friends of 14-year-old Stefanie Damron, who are patiently waiting for answers about her disappearance and are hoping for her safe return home. On September 27th, 2024, the FBI joined forces with our law enforcement partners to assist in the search. Today, we are renewing our call for the public's assistance, and we are here to announce that the FBI is offering a significant reward of up to $15,000 for information leading to her safe return or the arrest and prosecution of anyone involved in her disappearance. The FBI hopes this reward will incentivize anyone with information about Stefanie's whereabouts to come forward. Any detail, no matter how small, could be helpful. Stefanie's family desperately wants to know where she is, and we are fully committed to helping our law enforcement partners exhaust every investigative resource to find her and bring her home. Immediately after she was reported missing, the FBI brought in our Child Abduction Rapid Deployment, or CARD team. The CARD team is a group of highly trained and experienced subject matter experts on cases involving missing children. investigators have conducted dozens of interviews and followed up on leads in Maine, across the country, and even Canada. Despite extensive investigative efforts, including a neighborhood canvass and video search, along with an expansive grid search utilizing canines from Maine Warden Service and Maine State Police, Stefanie is still missing. We will continue to assist Maine State Police with on-the-ground investigative, technical, and analytical support. We know many of you want to help, which is why we are asking the public to review Stefanie's missing person poster and share it on social media. Rest assured, we are working to find out what happened to Stefanie and reunite her with her family.
So we'd also like to take just a moment and thank the members of the public and the media for their continued attention to this case. Your efforts in keeping Stefanie's disappearance in the forefront of the community are invaluable, and we do appreciate your support as we remain focused on bringing her home safely. As you know, there are some investigative details and strategies that are unable to be shared at this time, but we will do our best to answer a few questions if you have them.
Did she have a cell phone and leave it behind, or did she not have one at all? If she did leave it behind, what does that tell you about this investigation?
There were no devices taken with her at this time, and she did not have a cell phone.
Had she run away before, and what is your hope and maybe that she's run away again this time? Did somebody say?
So this behavior has not been uncommon for Stefanie, which is why I think the family waited a little bit of time, gave her a little bit of time before calling the police immediately. And so, but in this case, for obvious reasons, since she hasn't turned up, we slowly ratcheted up all the investigative resources that are present, in that area today for this reason.
We've gotten some information about that there may be some concerns inside the household, no running water and things like that. There's other children in the household. Has DHHS been called in at all?
Yes, thank you for that question. Of course, yeah. So in any of these cases, whenever we have a minor that's involved, that goes missing, or there could be an issue in the home, yeah, DHHS is always notified in those circumstances, and certainly in this case they were.
One of the flyers I saw said ties to West Virginia, Texas, and New Hampshire. Is that accurate? And if so, are those friends or other family members?
Lieutenant, did you want to speak to those?
So the tips that have come in for out of the area, so there's some for Canada and other states, they're tips from the public that maybe she had a social media friend at the time or an acquaintance. So we just try to follow up on any information for those outside states.
Do you have any reason to believe that there was foul play? Because you said the card unit was involved, and then, or maybe that she's with somebody, or was there someone she might have been meeting?
So at this point, everything is still on the table for us. From her simply being missing to run away to the worst situation, because we don't have any concrete leads or tips that will let us basically one direction or the other. So we don't want to leave anything on the table and not take something serious. So, but at this point, there's nothing that leads us in one specific direction.
Was it verified that she went into the woods? I mean, did the dogs, or was there any sort of
Other than the information that that's where she was headed, is the woods, and that is also past behavior as well.
So you haven't uncovered any evidence about her possible whereabouts?
We have not.
I know you guys waited a little bit to do that ground search, to do that extensive ground search, with members of the community. Do you guys think maybe you waited too late to do that in order for the dogs to get sent, or what's the thought process on that?
So the ground search with the Warden Service was only a few days after the fact. Typically in a missing person investigation, you start with the investigative leads, and then you call in the resources that you need. So it's a matter of following up. So no, I don't believe it's too late. And the wardens they'll do a grid search as well, so it's more than just dogs, it's also humans as well.
What about anything that has led to trafficking, sex trafficking? I mean, we're talking the northern part of Maine, which people think it doesn't happen there, but in your experience, has there been anything that could be connected to this?
again, all possibilities of what happened to Stephanie are still on the table. We don't have any specific information that that's what's happened, but we are trying to look into any tips that would lead us in that direction if we receive them.
And because it's so far up north, I know you said you were searching Canada as well. If she was in Canada, like, how would that process move forward, like looking for her?
We would partner with the RCMP or the FBI also has resources that we can partner with other law enforcement to follow up on any information.
And the FBI doesn't typically get involved with, say, a typical run-away case. So people might be asking, why are you here? Is it because the family is concerned, because it's been 2 months?
Well, I think in any missing persons case, especially so close to the border like this, you're going to want to involve the FBI, especially in any missing persons case where we haven't taken anything off the table, nothing has been ruled out or eliminated. Crossing state lines is certainly in one of those possibilities. And of course, that's outside our jurisdiction, so that's where we would really look for help from the FBI.
Are there concerns she could still be in the woods, but in more danger with the falling temperatures and the snow this week?
Of course, there's always that concern. I think our hope at the beginning of hunting season is that a hunter might come across something that would lead us in one direction or the other. That has not happened. There is still a little bit of hunting time left up in that area, so I would highly encourage those hunters that are up there to be extra vigilant.
Although this was like common behavior with Stephanie, was there anything that maybe the family indicated was different about maybe conversations or anything like moments leading up to her leaving?
Yeah, we're really not going to get into those investigative details about what was happening in her life in that day or two prior to, but at this point, again, everything is still on the table.
Can you tell me if DHHS intervened at all, or anything that they may have done if the children still in the home, the other children?
No, I'm sorry, I can't speak to what DHHS is doing or they're involved.
Well, you said she had a history of running away. I mean, how many times has she tried to run away?
I can't speak to that but for saying it was not uncommon. This was not uncommon behavior for Stephanie.
Was there a history of maybe mental health concerns or anything along those lines?
I don't believe there was at this point. I don't believe that there was any history of mental health concerns whatsoever. But again, certainly, we proceed with all of these cases as if anybody is under mental duress or anything like that. So if there was an issue, we certainly wouldn't do anything differently at this point.
Okay.
Did she have a
We'll
passport?
have one more question. Ed.
Did she have a passport?
I don't know. I guess I can speak to that. I don't believe she did. No.
And did she leave a note at all?
No.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
very much.
Okay, so she didn't have a passport that they know of. She didn't leave a note. They don't think she left with a phone or a laptop or anything like that. Wow. Okay, so now let me quickly show you. I found that interview as well on Instagram. Thank you, Melissa, for sending the Facebook link. For some reason, I couldn't open it. So just give me 1 second. Bring this over here.
Help, all right? Tonight, we need you to help us find a missing Maine teenager. On September 24th, 2024, Stefanie Damron, now 14, disappeared from a home in New Sweeten, Maine. She's not been seen or heard from since. We're now joined by her dad, Dale Damron. Dale, can you tell us what happened to your daughter?
We really honestly don't know. We were at a job interview that day. We got a couple phone calls, couple messages, where we live at and the way we live. The first few hours, there was no reason to raise a red flag. So we got the phone calls that she took off up the road, and we figured by the time we get home, she'd be back, and that would be the end of it. She'd be home. But a day later, we ended up calling the state police, and we still don't know what happened to her. We just want her home.
Do you think this is a case where she could have met a stranger on her phone?
I do. But the situation with the phone is it was not her phone. It was her grandfather's phone. We had bought an old simple phone. We didn't even know it could connect to the internet. We tried several times to connect to the internet. We could never do it. But come to find out, this cheap $20 flip phone was how she ended up connecting to the internet. And that's what it led to this, is she found a way to get on one of these dating websites or something like that we didn't know about, because we just assumed that phone wasn't capable of it, because our kids are raised, you know, no social media. We live off grid. We keep to ourselves. We don't bother people. But we honestly do think that she did meet somebody online and probably pick her up at this point.
If she's out there watching, what message do you have for Stefanie?
Just come home. No judgment. Just come home.
Now, let's take another good look at Stefanie Damron. She's 14 years old, 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with green eyes and shoulder-length brown hair. She was last seen wearing a long-sleeve blue shirt with blue jeans and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. If you've seen Stefanie or have any information about her disappearance, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Investigators believe Stefanie is no longer in the area, and at this point could now be anywhere in the country. So please, OP Nation, if you know anything, you know what you need to do. Make that call. So OP Nation, this is where you can help, all right? Tonight.
Okay, so this is from On Patrol Live. I will make sure to link that for you as well. I believe they've got a copy of that on Facebook. I will link the one on Instagram as well, so that you can find that. So that's what we know so far, everyone. That's pretty much all the information we have right now. Stefanie Damron, 14 years old. She was 13 years old at the time of her disappearance. She was last seen September 23rd of 2024. She was reported missing on September 24th of 2024. In New Sweden, Maine, 5 foot, 130 pounds. She had brown shoulder-length hair. She has green eyes. I don't know if she's by now cut or colored her hair or anything like that. Blue jeans is what she was last seen wearing. A long-sleeved blue shirt and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. You can call the Maine State Police, Holton Barracks. Those are the numbers, or the FBI numbers that are shared as well in this presentation. And there is now a $15,000 reward for any information leading to Stefanie's safe return. Okay, so I really hope that this boost on social media, meaning more eyes on it, there's more momentum on it. I really hope you guys will help to share. There's been some really great groups. I mean, I only found out about this case this week because of the press conference and everyone sending it to me. So thank you to everyone who sent this to me as well. But I see that obviously since she went missing, there were Facebook groups. Her mother's been sharing regularly, you know, please help find my baby girl. And so let me just quickly find this Facebook page. It is Where is Stefanie Damron? There's also, I must find it. It's like mysteries or missing mysteries or something like that in Maine. There's that page as well. I'll link that all for you in the description box if you want to go and check it out and also follow along. I will, of course, let you know if there's any updates in this case. I'm going to be on X, formerly Twitter, right, sharing the flyers. And so let's share that regularly so we can keep it in the spotlight so that others can also hopefully get this out to people who can keep a lookout. Because even if New Sweden, Maine has a smallish population, 500 they say, she could be in Canada, she could be in any other state. She was familiar with New Hampshire, with Texas, with I think Virginia as well. So she'd been living in other places before. She's got relatives in other places too. Obviously, one would hope if a relative knows where she is that they would call the police. But whoever sees her, if you see something, please say something. Thank you so much all for being here. I really appreciate it. If you are on Patreon, we are now going to have a patrons only live stream. We have those every now and then, and I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. I look forward to that. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Melissa, Dan, any others that were here sharing vital information. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to receiving emails if there's more information as well. Melissa said, look for the purple candle to change your profile picture in support. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. I'll see you again very soon. Let's hope Stefanie is found soon. And for now, all of you, make sure you stay safe. Okay, bye.